Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quest Unplayed, where three gamers talk about everything about gaming and having fun together. I am George, the co-host of Quest Unplayed, and this quest is joined by Anthony,
Hello, everyone.
Zach,
Hi.
and we also have another guest, Leo.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so this episode is going to be super fun. But before we actually start, this podcast is sponsored by Minimap, your ultimate gaming hub, and a gaming companion app. Sync your game accounts, connect with other gamers, and basically do anything and everything about gaming on Minimap. So, how is everyone doing today?
Super great.
Good.
Enjoying
Yeah.
long weekend.
Yeah, a lot of things happened actually last week, and I also have a cold, so my voice might kind of crack. So, apologize before we actually start. So, before we actually start, let's hear a little bit about like a preview, I guess, of what Leo's game is, and maybe a little bit of an introduction from Leo. So,
Sure.
Leo, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the game?
Yeah, hi, I'm Leo. I'm an indie game creator. I've been making games since about 2005. I started with like Flash on Newgrounds. My latest game is called Hauntii. It's the story of a ghost that just arrives in the afterlife. So you play as Hauntii and collect these little fragments of memory to put together kind of core memories from past life and explore this world of Eternia. So Hauntii was kind of a personal project. A lot of the artwork is sort of hand drawn. Well, not sort of. I mean, it's just like very. You can see they go directly from like my sketches straight into the game.
Wow.
Also worked with a very talented crew of people. So we had Michael Ward. I guess he goes by Michael Kirby Ward now on the music. And if you haven't heard the soundtrack, I think we'll hear some music a little bit later, but it's incredible. It's all up on, I believe, Spotify now.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, Hauntii. The themes of Hauntii are sort of based on the impermanence theme, which is prevalent in Buddhism. But I kind of wanted to explore that theme a bit in a more traditional kind of fairy tale setting. So by the time you get to the end of the game, I think you'll have had quite a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little shot from the end of the game.
Awesome.
No.
I mean, just by looking at the trailer, we can kind of see what kind of art it is going to be bringing, and it already looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, so we will probably dive deeper into Hauntii and Leo towards the end, where we actually have the whole entire section about the game and him. But before we actually do that, let's get into our first waypoint, the bulletin board waypoint. This is where we talk about the gaming news that has been happening, recently or in the past week or so. So the first agenda for this week is some of the games and studios being shut down, unfortunately. And the first one is the Visions of Mana studio is shutting down. The Oka studio, I'm sorry, is going to be shut down by NetEase. This is pretty sad. So what do you guys think? This is pretty sad, isn't it? Like they just released the game, and then as soon as they release it, they're just shut down.
That's that must be hard for developers to think about. You've been working on this project for a long time. Game's ready. You press the button, it gets released, and then you just get an email saying, "Oh yeah, we're letting you off."
Yeah.
like give me some time to celebrate.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Your game was pretty good, but we gotta let you go.
know this feeling quite well, actually. I've been in 2 separate studios where like we release the game, and it gets like pretty good reviews. Like we're pretty happy with it, but it's just very clear. Like within the first month, it's like, oh, this isn't gonna work. It's like there's a baseline amount of sales that you need to see happening within the first month. I mean, in very rare cases, sales will spike later, but it's
Yeah.
rare, like maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 50,000. So people who've been around for a bit, they can kind of feel it. They can kind of know, like, this isn't, this ship is sinking. So the studio will go down, but like if you look at some of these devs, like famously Okami, which was like an extremely beloved game and kind of a cult classic now. Clover Studio was shut down after Okami, and a lot of those devs stuck together and ended up at platinum. So a studio shutting down is not like this grim reaper for your career. It's just that there's a very thin margin for game studios, and like for example, if you have 10 employees, you need to be spending about $1 million a year, approximately, right? So like you will know pretty quickly, like, oh, we have 6 months to live, and you're not going to make a game in 6 months, like. So it just comes down to the math, and sometimes that's the unfortunate case when you make a game that is risky. You're rolling a dice, and it might not turn out.
Yeah. I guess, and also I guess it is. I mean, business. It's all business, I guess, at the end, because like you have to, like as a company side, I guess you can kind of see that they have to weigh that like how much money you're going to be making, and like how much money you have to be spending, and if they can't, see the outcome within like the certain period of time that they expected it to come out, then I guess it's not better, but like they have to make a decision, I guess, because they have to keep paying these studios, and if they just own them. But it's still sad though. Like you make it, you work for it, and you're like all let go. That's
yeah. I think that is sad. I hope those people that work together on that project do get to kind of all stick together. Like often that's the case where, like, for example, if a director gets laid off, their whole team gets laid off, then when they start at the next place, you can kind of pick the employees that you liked anyway.
Right.
You can be like, don't tell the other ones.
Yeah. Like just like give them a call and like, hey, you want to start over here? And like, give them a nudge.
So that that kind of reminds me when we were talking to our last dev, for a Copycat, and he was saying that's one thing he was really happy about being on an indie team. He said if we even make 1% of those sales, we're good to go. So as an indie dev, is that kind of is that a freeing thing to you, or is that still an issue for you as far as your team goes and for the game that you just put out?
Yeah, indies definitely. We have a smaller minimum requirement, right? So, for example, Moonloop that created Hauntii is just me. And how much I get paid is flexible because I also do consulting, so it's not like I'm entirely without money. Even if the game sold nothing, I would still have something to go on.
Right.
Although that would be sad. That would be a sad situation. And with Hauntii, with a lot of indie games, actually, for the first title, you'll kind of work as independent contractors with people to collaborate. It would be fantastic to make enough to kind of like because I loved the team that I worked with on Hauntii. And if you sort of get a big success, then you can talk to them more about like, hey, we grew, like, do you want to hop on permanently? But with indie games, and especially with your first title, there is some degree of flexibility there. Although we're indie developers are still bound by this sounds so business school, but we're still bound by market forces. We like, you can make a game like, so the typical indie dream is like, I'm gonna make a game from the heart. I'm gonna pour my inner self out into it. And you look at cases like Undertale or Stardew Valley or whatever, where that turned out to be a massive financial success. But there are also, I think last year on Steam, there were somewhere in the magnitude of the 10,000s of games that released, right?
Yeah, it's like over 12,000, I think.
Yeah, so I think it was like 40,000 or 30,000. I don't want to say an exact number, but you have to imagine that out of those, at least 10% were like from the heart passion projects, right? So basically what you have is a Venn diagram where the left one is what the market is craving right now. And the right one is what is the game that you want to make that's like absolutely, this is my heart. And only the games that meet in the very thin center of that Venn diagram will be met with that sort of high level of success. Unless you sort of pay attention to market forces and you kind of look and see like, okay, there are this and this and this genre are hot right now. And you can tell this because Steam publishes a massive amount of data, right? Now, if a game is hot right now and you're like, I'm going to make that, then 3 years later, it might not be.
Right.
But you can at least get a rough idea of what is in demand, and sort of pick from all of your ideas like, oh, this kind of fits.
Okay, that was a good.
That was actually a good lecture, I guess.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
I mean, you have to. Yeah, I mean, like as an indie dev, you obviously have to do everything yourself. So you have to do like market researching yourself too. Like you can't just make something like out of the blue and say like, oh, I love this, so everyone's gonna love this too. Like you can't say that.
True.
Obviously, you have to kind of meet in the middle, I guess, in a way, because you have to make a game that you really like, but you have to kind of like make it towards the way where like there's a demand as well. Like Leo says, there's over 12,000 games coming out, so not every single game can be successful.
Yeah.
Financially.
Right. Yeah.
That's the reason. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I don't want to discourage like any like new devs listening to, like, if you're making your first game, I would say just make it, like, because it's very difficult to balance. Like it's hard to make a game to begin with, but to balance that with like sort of, oh, is this, if you start second guessing yourself, oh, this isn't what's the market's demanding or whatever. Like, just make your first game. I think this is more just for if you're like a career indie dev, it's something that you need to start kind of keeping in mind.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
it made me think of is, I'm pretty sure back in the day, like when consoles like Nintendo and all those were out, there's no way they could produce that many games. I wonder how many games would be as popular as they were then if they had the same kind of competition. You know what I mean? Like if they're able to develop that many games at once.
I mean, how many games released on the NES like through its whole life cycle?
I don't think it was. I mean, I played tons of them, and I feel like there was always the same ones. You know what? I have to say Google.
I don't.
We have a lot. We have like a Jamie, like the Joe Rogan podcast. So Jamie, pull that up.
I'll be the Jamie.
It's got to be less than like 5,000, I would say.
There are a total of 1,395 officially licensed games for Nintendo Entertainment System.
Really?
608 were released exclusively in Japan, 186 were released exclusively in North America, and 20 were released exclusively in PAL countries. Worldwide, 507 games were released.
Wow.
So you gotta imagine, like, there's so many games that have just fond memories because I played the NES, of course, and Atari, but that's not a lot compared to, like, people are putting that much out in 1 year now.
Yeah.
Almost.
In 1 month.
Yeah, less than a year.
I mean,
Definitely less
Yeah.
than a
1
year.
month.
I guess you could say it's like, it's also there now gaming is becoming like more popular and it's becoming like a hobby that everyone could join now, and people can see it as a career also, as a entrance to, like, esports. Like it's getting bigger and bigger, so you can see why like more and more developers are out there and bringing out more games to try and catch everyone's attention.
Yeah, for
Plus
sure.
it's easier.
Yeah, and also it's like all digital, so you don't have to like worry about making making physical copies. You can just.
I know I was watching a
Because
thing where they were
cartridge is
talking about.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. I was
Go
gonna say
ahead.
I was watching a thing about that video game special about them in the early days and how they had to like solder the chips into the consoles. The help,
The cartridge.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank
Cartridge?
you, appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
like
you can imagine now that you don't got to do that.
Was it the first Final Fantasy, I think, that had like they wanted to let you save, and they had to like add an extra chip into the cartridge to let you save the game. Like I remember early cartridges having batteries. Like, and if the battery died, it just
Is that the first? Is that the first Final Fantasy in America or in Japan? Because I thought Japan got it first, didn't they?
I believe it was just the first one, like that released. No,
I love the first Final Fantasy.
Did they share? I've actually never played the first one.
It was so fun, but it was funny because it was like you have Cloud and everything, and other ones was just like ninja. You could be a ninja, or you're a wizard, or you're a fighter, and you're like,
They didn't even have a name.
Okay. There was no name. No, you just like,
there was no name.
Would you like to bring a ninja onto the team? You're like, okay, come on, ninja. Like, and then you'd be selling your boat, and like evil fish people would be jumping on the boat and fighting you in the middle of the sea and stuff. But it actually was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was a golden age, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I played it through. I saw some people playing it, like retro games.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look away now.
But yeah. So I think we're talking about the studio shutting down. But anyways, so it's kind of sad. But also something happened today is that Concord is going to be shutting down as well. The game is going to be shut down today, or not today, but like soon. And Sony said that they are working on getting getting everyone's refunds, and that's also kind of sad. I don't know, like.
I mean, it's nice that they're giving people refunds.
The Concord.
Actually, Sony took down Concord already from PlayStation Store. It's not there no more.
Yeah.
So Concord was a hero shooter that Sony had been working on for like 8 years.
Oh. Yeah, 8 years of development.
They released it and it shut it down.
After 2 weeks.
So it was like an Overwatch.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, similar, very similar. But so the highest peak was 270 people. 270 concurrent players
on Steam, I think,
on Steam.
Yeah,
on Steam.
270 is like indie game numbers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, they also made it to where you had to have a PlayStation account on Steam to play it. So if you bought on Steam, you still had to get your PlayStation account activated with it.
What other game did they do that with? Helldivers.
Helldivers 2.
Yeah, and it was like this huge. Like I just remember like getting online one day and just like everybody's angry. I'm like, whoa. What happened? Guys?
I know. I got Helldivers in the beginning, and it was fantastic because you didn't have to use the PlayStation account online at all. So you saw all the positive reviews going up, like skyrocket to like 250,000 positive, and then after they decided to bring it back, it went down.
Yeah.
So it went up and then down, way down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think one of the issue was that in some regions or some countries they don't allow like making PlayStation accounts, so that
Yeah.
the people who bought it on Steam they couldn't play it even if they had already bought it, so
Yeah.
like they're blocked.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough position to be in for the developers because like they basically didn't have a choice because they were published by Sony. I feel like Sony doesn't really get online like online play. It just hasn't clicked with them like what players really want.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Nintendo also is in that sort of gray area where they're like they do online play but they don't quite get it right, you know.
Yeah, that's true. They don't get it right, or they don't like push it as hard like they were supposed to.
What's like the friend code thing? Like, what was it? Was it Mario Kart or Smash where you needed like a 10-digit friend code?
I mean,
yeah,
almost
like-
every game. Almost every game on Wii, you had to get a 10-digit friend code. You're like, why? Why am I doing this? You're like, okay, man, I think I messed up. It was it a Y? And you're like,
whereas on Steam, it's like you just open the overlay and you like invite, and it feels like they would just like that technology is not new. Like Steam's been doing that for 10 plus years.
Yeah,
I love that you said that. It's not new.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to do like on a lot of PC games. That's I think so Steam has been doing great, I guess, in that way, because it's very easy to find or invite friends to play together.
So do you guys remember that there was a hero shooter that came out? It actually came out around the same time as Overwatch. There was like a mushroom dude.
Battleborn, I think, was it?
Battleborn, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battleborn had a similar, like hero shooters seem to just, like when they come out, it's either a huge hit or a flop right away.
Well, they got overshadowed by Overwatch.
Yeah.
Real quick. But a lot of people like Battleborn.
Yeah. But it just had that, like it just kind of deflated after it came out.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
created by
regardless
the creators of Borderlands, Battleborn.
Yeah. I had a friend on that team
Oh.
that was working on Battleborn, and he was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, people are comparing it to Overwatch, and it's like, yeah, that sucks. Because they actually started, I think Battleborn was first, I want to say. Like, I think they announced it first, but it just, they both kind of looked similar, and yeah.
I mean, I've never even heard of that game, so that was like pretty. I guess
Battleborn was before Overwatch.
Okay.
And Overwatch just stole its thunder. Huh? I believe it was 2017.
Oh, 2017.
Let me check real quick. But yeah, no, it was no, not Battleborn, the batteries. Battleborn the game. Thank you.
Battleborn had like a mushroom samurai. That's
December 8, 2017. Yeah, he was the guy on the front cover. He looked cool because he had that like mushroom hat with the samurai swords.
That's good marketing.
Was it really that late? December 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Gosh. Okay.
That was
6 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
Over 6
But no, yeah, it's Gearbox made it.
Gearbox.
Yeah. Gearbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like Overwatch. I mean, ever since, has anyone played Overwatch 2?
I have.
No.
Yeah, how is it like? I mean, I like actually like 2 days ago, actually played like a couple games, and I don't know, it just felt.
To me, like I used to play Overwatch like for hours. Like I was addicted to it. Like I actually had. Remember when they had the borders for how long you played, not how good you were?
Yeah.
I had like the diamond border. People like, how much you play in this game? Like, not that much. Like, you got 3,000 hours. And I'm like, what? Who said that? I had like an insane amount of time on every character, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. It was fun to get on with your friends and have, competitive games and just, relax and stuff. And then it started losing its like luster. I can't remember exactly what kind of meh did to me, but when Overwatch 2 came out, I wasn't really like excited because I'm like, why? Like, what are we doing here? And they're like, we're going to add a story. And then later on, they don't add the story.
Yeah, that
And
happened.
then another thing that really kind of upset me was I watched this special on esports, and I became very big into like kind of watching the esports scene. And I found out that Blizzard doesn't really manage their esports side very well. In fact, most people have Overwatch League teams. They lose money instead of like there's a lot of esports that doesn't like. So what is that one esport?
League of Legends.
Rocket League. Rocket League's highly successful, but they go by a whole different formula than Overwatch. So like in Overwatch, if you're playing for an Overwatch League team and somebody goes and buys like the, apparel for one team, Blizzard gets that money. That team doesn't get any of that money. And so they're basically all their money comes from wins. However, like in the NFL, if you buy a Seattle Seahawks jersey, right? All the money goes to the NFL, and NFL actually divides the money out to everybody. And when I found out how kind of crappy Blizzard was about it, I was like, I don't really want to play this game anymore.
Well, why would they take the money from? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Like, they get the money
no.
from game sales.
But yeah, and that's the thing is like basically what kind of hurts them is when you got to put, I think it was $1 million, right, to get a team. You have to pay $1 million for a team, and then you got to hire your players. You got to pay them money. But then on top of that, say, in the football league, like I said, everybody kind of shares the money from everything that's bought. And that's why some football teams, even if they're horrible, can stay around in the NFL for a long time. Well, in the Overwatch League, you just basically you lose money. And so that's why Overwatch League struggles so much to kind of keep people interested in stuff and keep people playing, because honestly, I used to love watching Overwatch League. Even though, I was never that good, but I loved watching it, But once I find out how Blizzard was with money, I just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I know that sounds kind of weird, but
Well, that makes sense.
I was like, I'm not a big fan. So I've had a hard time with Blizzard since then. But yet they had Starcraft, and we all love Starcraft, right?
Yeah.
Starcraft 2.
Yeah.
Actually,
go ahead.
I haven't played StarCraft 2 still to this day. I've only played the first one.
Yeah.
And the first one, I got my ass kicked so many times.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, I'm not playing against people anymore. I'm just going to beat the computer.
Especially when you play in the Korean server. Oh, they're
like
crazy.
So I think a friend of mine once told me that, if you play StarCraft and then against a Korean player and you lose, you should be honored.
I wouldn't even. I had that one friend. We talked about this. I had one friend, and he was super good at it. And after a couple of times, we were so bored playing him. We're like, we don't want to play you anymore. And he's like, let's just set up the computers as hard as they can be, and then we'll all play together. We're like, sounds great. Let's make them as hard as possible, because we're like, Jed, his name was Jed, and he was a Zergling mat. Like, he was so good with the Zerg, and I was like, I hate you so much. Like, he was one of those kids who was just too good, and I was like, I can't play. So I'm feeling like if I do play, which I'll probably end up playing with these two guys one day, I'm gonna get my ass handed to me.
Yeah, I had a similar friend. He also played as Zerg in college, and he would just send and this was 2009, so StarCraft had been around for a long time, and all the strategies were kind of known.
Oh yeah.
And he knew like that he was so much higher skill level than me. He would just send out like 1 or 2 Zerglings in the first 5 minutes of the match and just torment me
To kill all your miners or your little
yeah,
guys.
exactly. I was like, dude,
I hated that. Then you
build
chase
something.
them, and then you weren't getting your minerals.
And then he sent then he sent a couple more, and then sent a couple more, and then obviously you got like a whole bunch.
So frustrating. It's just infuriating. It's like the kind of it just makes you want to flip the table.
Yeah.
Done. So yeah, I don't play
Just
anymore.
like I'm done. This was a great game. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun day. But yeah, I think so. I think I heard like I don't know about this, but like there's rumor that maybe Concord could turn into a free-to-play game, and then they can like start selling like skins like Overwatch did. But I don't know if this is like 100% sure. This is just a rumor because they have to like if they shut down the game, they have to throw away everything. Might as well just try to like turn it into free-to-play, but then like they have to pay the server fee and all that. So not too sure what they're going to be doing afterwards.
Was it?
How
much was it before?
40, I think $40.
40 something, yeah.
I think $40.
Has there ever been a hero shooter that you had to pay like upfront for?
I mean, Overwatch.
Overwatch when
yeah.
it first came out,
Yeah, when it
which
first
was
came out.
actually better because you ended up paying. So I bought. So actually, no, I was actually streaming at the time, and one of my people got me the game to play it, and it was like $30 or $40, right? You could spend way more than that now on Overwatch 2 on just skins.
Yeah.
And then when you first got the game, you're like, $30, okay. But you can unlock every single skin and every gun skin. Now you can't do that. So it's actually smarter for companies to release some of this stuff, free to play. But if you want that new skin or this, you're gonna have to buy it because people will make all those microtransactions, and you make way more than you would have if you, especially if you add a battle pass, and then the battle pass, is like $10 or $20. It gets to the point where it starts adding up. You know what I mean? $20 1 month is about as much as the first game of Overwatch ever cost. For I played it for years before they even talked about putting anything else in there. I mean, they constantly added stuff, but they never charged for it.
Yeah, I think that's
So-
what Fortnite did too. Fortnite is doing that. They have the pass and the skin and all that.
Yeah,
They made a lot.
Fortnite's really makes a lot of money off that stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been $40 is how much Concord cost.
Yeah, I mean, some of the. I think this was not League. World of Warcraft. Like some of the in-app purchases made more than entire other games just because they were so popular. There's already like such a big player base.
Yeah.
Yeah, in-app purchases, they make lots and lots of money.
Yeah, lots of money. And I think, especially, the Marvel Rivals is coming out soon too.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
going to be another like shooter game. That's going to be free to play, I think.
It's gotten a lot of hype too.
Yeah, so that's, I guess, like comparing to all the other games that are free to play, I guess is one of the reasons why Concord has failed.
And I do believe the people who are releasing it is NetEase. NetEase is the one releasing it.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to see about that. They'll probably sell a lot of skins.
Well, and the game, actually, from someone who loves playing those type of games, I was seeing I've been wanting to play it, but they keep being like giving just a little bit out here and here, which is making me pretty angry. I'm not gonna lie. But some of the things I saw that I really liked is like they added how 2 heroes can connect with their supers to make like a special super and stuff like that, and it looks like a lot of fun, honestly. So I'm hoping that it's not
A bust.
horrible.
Yeah.
Does it have
That-
Groot? They should put Groot in that one.
Groot's in it. He's a tank.
Oh, he's in. Okay, awesome.
He's a tank. Groot's a tank, and then
They'll probably
Hulk
keep adding
is a tank.
heroes. Yeah.
They probably will.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm playing a hero-based shooter on the Nintendo. That's on, and it's called Star Wars Hunters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're on to season 3 right now,
How is that?
and they
going?
got released this year. I bought every single skin. It's a free to play.
Star Wars.
Like I got all the skins.
Yeah.
I've been buying skins because I'm a big Q Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that about you.
yeah,
I
so
grew up around Star Wars.
when they added that, I'm like, oh yes, I'm playing this, and you get to play all the characters, even the villains also, the
Mhm.
bounty hunters. It was so much fun.
Who's your favorite to play as?
In Star Wars Hunter,
Mhm.
I really like Chewbacca a lot because
Oh, yeah.
Chewbacca it's a tank. He's the tank in Star Wars Hunter.
I hope so.
Yeah. He,
Does he have the laser crossbow in the game?
No. Oh yeah, he does. He does has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was
I'm sorry,
funny that there's like a
That was-
laser crossbow.
Yeah, like what's the rope doing? what's it pushing?
Just like a laser bolt, and then you slide it in, and like.
It's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool because you get to play with Jedi characters also.
Mm.
So
I
you
just
can
think
play
it's funny
Jedi
'cause-
characters, bounty hunters, even troopers.
I'm about to say I saw a stormtrooper, and
Yeah.
I think he gets a minigun or something.
Yeah, he's a heavy
Uh,
trooper. Heavy
And anybody
stormtrooper.
knows anything about Star Wars knows that they can't they can't hit nothing. I'm like, go ahead, hit me, go ahead, shoot. What are you gonna do? I'm like,
Yeah, like in the movies, there's
Yeah.
like 20 stormtroopers, and they're all like,
Shooting it everywhere.
That reminds me of I don't know if you guys ever seen the this is an older movie, but it was a joke movie about Star Wars called Spaceballs.
Best
oh
movie
yeah,
ever.
of course.
They make fun of that hardcore about how bad
was-
the shooting was. It's like, oh my
Best one.
god. Yeah.
That's like one of the classic parodies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just remember the part where they're shooting, and the only one that could shoot right was the princess. She's like, "Give me that gun." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think there was a time they actually sold us merchandise for real for Spaceballs that they showed inside the movie.
Mm.
Wait.
Oh.
They sold Spaceballs merchandise.
Like the ones you saw in the movies, like in the movie Spaceball, they actually sold the merchandise for limited time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you
Probably
buy
find it on
anything,
eBay.
Anthony? Did you buy anything?
No, I
Anthony?
didn't. No, I didn't buy it. That time I was like really young, so I didn't know. But I was growing up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, movies
So-
and TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah. So, talk about TV shows. Alan Wake is coming to film and TV.
Oh wow.
And that sounds pretty interesting. We have talked about, the Like a Dragon coming to the Yakuza War coming, or Yakuza movie coming, or not movie, it's a TV show coming. In
Yeah,
Amazon Prime,
TV.
and a lot of these games coming into TVs and movies. So Alan Wake is going to be another good thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I gotta say, unless the Yakuza TV show is exactly as wacky as the game, I'm completely rejecting it.
Yeah.
The game
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
This isn't my Yakuza.
the game. When you look at it, it seems serious, and
Yeah.
like there are story moments that are very serious, but that like
Yeah.
They're like,
probably
wow.
70% of the game is like you're chasing a man wearing a giant duck costume with like a samurai sword.
Like a dragon.
Gotta get that duck
Yeah.
guy.
Or you're like racing. I spent like a good like 5 or 6 hours. There's like a mini game where you race slot cars. There's like a whole slot car
Mhm.
system.
Mhm.
You like upgrade your slot cars and you're like racing in the tournaments. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a gangster game. Like racing slot cars.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny. I mean, they have to bring that into the TV show.
They have to.
They have
it's
to.
like a part of the heart of the game.
Yeah, they can't make it.
Alan Wake.
Hmm.
Alan Wake is kind of already a TV show.
Yeah,
Like, they built a game around the show. It seems like, so that could be a good conversion.
yeah.
It's been a while since I played Alan Wake.
It's
But,
a scary game, right?
yeah, I think they're also making Control also
oh,
because they have that
Con-
rights also.
My hot take here is that Control should have just been a show from the beginning. Like, Control's a really interesting premise and story, but I thought as a game it felt like really clumsy and just like, why is this a game? It's just like it didn't feel good. It's like, you know how in the PlayStation 2 era, like the characters were kind of more like generally cartoonized or stylized or whatever. And so when you're like jumping around and your character's moving like this, it felt natural because it's like, oh yeah, it's like Sly Cooper. Of course he would move like that. In Control, it's this like photorealistic, like scanned character, like real looking human in HD. They're just like jumping around like that. I'm like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people love that game. Just like
I actually
I
like
remember
Quantum Break. You play Quantum Break?
I remember that
That was-
game. I never played it.
that was-
I watched somebody play it.
Yeah, Quantum Break is fantastic. I think that's what started it, and then it went Quantum Break, then it went Control, and then it went to Alan Wake 2 or Alan Wake Remastered. I don't know the order.
Are they in the same universe?
Yeah.
They okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
A lot of rewinding. I'll remember that.
They have lots of content they can make it into.
Do you remember when Max Payne was a movie?
I remember Max Payne because it made me kind of sad. I loved Max Payne growing up. That game was when that game first came out, it just blew people's minds.
Yeah, the
So
game
when
was fantastic. Yeah.
And it had my boy Marky Wahlberg in there. You know, I know he's not the most versatile actor, but I do like him, you know. So when I watched it, I was like, all right. But they did some bullet slowdown stuff, but the original game was just so, it was definitely mature.
Yeah.
I remember some real crazy stuff going on as you're flying by in slow motion like this, and you're like, is that guy pants down? And you're like, I was like, this game is nuts. And so it kind of got weird, you know, but at least they tried. I mean, they tried. They made it so the drugs in the movie is what slowed you down to try to pull that in. But sometimes I feel like games are just hard to pull into like movies because that slowdown part of the game was such a big facet of the mechanics. However, Comet doesn't work for a movie. They kind of been doing it for movies like slow motion walking and stuff like that. But it's one of the whole premise of the game is just like how you can slow down and dive by doors and go. So I don't know. That's my take on it. I might be a little rough, but
I remember also Max Payne being like super dope. But I think I was like 11 when that came out, and I wasn't allowed to buy it. But I had a PC Gamer subscription, and they would mail you a CD each month with demos on it. And so I just played through the Max Payne demo like over and over again because I couldn't continue. So I had to just play it again.
This is as much as I could do.
Yeah, there were so many games that I got exposed to that way. I think Diablo 2 was also at one point on a demo disc.
I
mean, not the whole game, obviously, but I was just like, well, I'll just play this section of this game.
For hours and hours.
Diablo 2 took so many hours away from my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember my
That's
dad
for sure.
I think that's that's like the first game CD that my dad bought me because like he hated me playing any game, but then like one day he just bought me Diablo 2 CD, and then I started playing that game, and then he kind of regretted it because I spent so much time on it.
He did it because he loved you. Then afterwards, he's like,
like, why did I buy this? I don't know.
I just remember lots of mooing.
Yeah, the cow.
Were you in Korea at that time or in the US?
Yeah, I think I was in Korea.
So I feel like in Korea, what a lot of like, I don't know about middle school, but like high schoolers will just like go to PC Bang.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's just kind of you play whatever you want at that point. But
yeah,
I don't know at that time if it was the case.
Yeah, it was the case. Like, so I think that time There are like 2 or 3 games that were very popular. Diablo was one of them, and then Lineage, which is a Korean game made by NT, that was also popular. And then I think that's when Counter Strike was pretty popular.
Oh yeah,
That was
I
when,
remember
like the
that.
rise of the Counter Strike, where like people, tested out the aims, like how good of an aimer you are, and like all that. So I think those 3 were like the main major games that people played in the PC cafe, PC Bang. Yeah.
Yeah, we had like when I was in I think high school around there was like 1 or 2 in my town that was because I grew up in it was kind of just like an average sized town in the south, and there was like when the PC cat we call them PC cafes. And when the first one came around, it was like it was a really huge deal to me and my friends because we were like, what? You could just go to this place and like everybody's playing video games. And it's like, it's so cool. But everything's far away, right? So you have to like ask your parent, Mom, like,
Can
can you drop me off
Yeah.
at PC Cafe? I'll be back in like 6 hours.
or maybe like pick me up tomorrow.
Yeah. Some of them they did like 24-hour events.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's good old days.
Like
Yeah.
the old days.
So I think that's good for covering all the. Well, we have plenty of other things that happened this week, but there's just too many of them. So we should move on to the next waypoint. Good.
Yep. We're good.
Okay. So we have named this waypoint the companion waypoint because all the guests that are coming to our quest are our companions. So this is where we meet
For
with-
life.
Yes, for life. You are found.
For
What did
life.
I sign up for?
We will find you. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
One day we should have like a whole conference, like where all the people that came as a guest to be in there. Like,
What was it like? It was rough. It was
like
really
a
rough.
big party or some sort. I don't know. And big gaming companies can sponsor us. Ooh,
Oh, that'd be
Anyways.
interesting.
that'd be interesting. But anyways, yeah. So this is where we meet the dev. So we will watch the trailer with the full sound because I know Leo wanted us to hear this music as well. So let's watch the
Yeah, we
video
gotta
and
hear
then
it.
we'll ask him a couple questions. I know we have lots of questions, but yeah. So Hauntii it is. You guys ready? Okay.
Hmm.
It's on everything.
That was actually beautiful. I know why you like it.
Tears.
Yeah, like I almost like no, but you know how like it was all silent and then the character like touched the character and then it started the whole music. That was like very epic.
Mhm.
It was.
Yeah, and then
Thank you.
I've been raving about this game. I don't know where you've been. What?
yeah, but I know why this is in like the soundtrack of this game is on like is it all on like Spotify and all like the other
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can also buy it on Steam, I think, as part of the digital deluxe edition.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, basically, so Michael and I, we want as many people to hear the soundtrack as possible, but I'll, of course, appreciate it if you buy it because we're really running kind of, this is our first Moonloop project, so all the support we can get helps, but
Yeah,
yeah.
for the next project. Hint, hint. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So, any questions you guys have? This is your time, Zach and Anthony, to ask him any questions.
Well, let Zach go first.
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
No. So honestly, I stumbled onto your game when we were talking about devs coming on, and being a huge indie lover myself, I was like, oh wow, I loved the art for it. And you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, and I was like, this art looks amazing. And then I actually watched the gameplay and like kind of what was going on, and then I automatically bought it. Right there, it was like, I got to play this, and I can't tell you I've been disappointed. Like, it's just gorgeous. So my question is to you is, and you kind of talked about this is your actual drawings, you said. What is this like? Kind of like the artwork to me is just so amazing. If you could talk a little bit about the artwork and like what was your inspiration on that, or because I feel like it's a big facet of the game, you know.
Sure, yeah.
And it seems like a lot too. You said earlier drew it, and I was like, I was thinking about all the gameplay I've done so far, and I was like, there is so much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah, I mean, first off, thanks for playing Hauntii. Very much appreciate that. The anything you see on screen is drawn by either myself or Lucy Jurek, who's our 2D animator, and so you know the cutscene with the angel that kind of like the wings all fold out from the face.
Yeah,
that's Lucy's work. She
Oh
really
wow!
brought the characters to the next level. So I just want to make sure that she gets the shout out for that.
Good job, Lucy.
Yeah, good job.
yeah. 4 thumbs up.
Yeah, so the props and character designs were my drawings, and I use a software called Procreate, which is like an iPad Photoshop. Basically, it's like a drawing application, and yeah, the style of Hauntii is based around just the simplicity. Like I wanted it to be simple, so that's why it's kind of like black and white, and the lines are very simple. It's kind of like drawing in a Sharpie, where they're kind of thick, simple lines, and yeah, it just kind of went from there and drew without too much planning or thought ahead of time. Just like, oh, what would a ghost forest be? And just just start drawing it. Yeah.
Wow. So, do you actually believe in like afterlife or like ghosts or spirits, or is it something that you were inspired by, or is it something that you kind of believe in?
No, I don't particularly believe in any kind of afterlife. It's more that it works as a very nice metaphor in this case, and it's a fun idea to play with. Like it's a fun concept to play around with, and the I mean, Hauntii sort of has its own kind of fairy tale type of story to it.
Mhm.
But the original concept was basically just all about the idea of moving on from something. So uh, obviously, you don't have to die to move on from something. Like your life, your your life situation changes, or you stop playing a certain game or whatever. Like you have all kinds of things that are changing. And so Hauntee's story is originally just an exploration of that. So you can see it from that perspective, but it's also like I don't want to just reduce it to a metaphor because there's also like a lot of characters and different settings in there. So it's more like a fairy tale, I would say.
It kind of reminded me of the movie The Soul.
The Soul.
Yeah. So I think it's called Soul. It's like it's a Pixar movie where like.
Oh, yeah, the Pixar one.
Yeah, the Pixar one where like they have to do certain thing like to start like a new like get another chance in life. I remember crying after watching that because that's kind of like no because that's like it happened like I watched that like a few months after my father-in-law passed away, and like and then my daughter was born, so I kind of felt like my father-in-law already met my daughter in somewhere before my daughter came to life. Like I don't know. I remember crying that. But anyway, so I kind of felt like I don't know, like that similar vibe, not like exactly the same thing, but like a similar vibe into it when I saw the trailer and all. So
Yeah, I remember watching Soul. I was actually like while I was getting this tattoo. No, this one. My tattoo artist put on the movie and was like, yeah, here you can kind of try and watch it, but I was like in a weird position, so I couldn't really see everything. And then she finished before the movie was done, so I still haven't seen the ending. I still don't know how that ends.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
I have to like pull it up on Netflix or something.
yeah, you gotta watch
That
it.
tattoo
Anyway,
looked
yeah,
a lot like your art.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, here's a better look at it.
Ah.
yeah.
I didn't design it though. It's my friend. She's a really good tattoo designer.
Oh no, George.
Yeah. So So Anthony, do you have any questions?
Oh, sure. So I noticed one of the coolest mechanic in the game, which was it possessing objects and using that to able to solve, puzzle or find stars. Did you have like some kind of inspiration to have that kind of mechanic? Because I felt like I was like playing, was it Super Mario Odyssey? When I was throwing my hat and then possessing to get stuff,
Yeah.
it's like you possessing stuff. 'Cause you don't see that kind of mechanic in many games. That's why I was like curious, like where'd you get that inspiration from?
From Mario Odyssey.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was.
Wow, good job.
I was quite obsessed with that game for
Yeah.
like around when it came out in like 2018 and 2019. Like I just kept playing it over and over again, and I was like, I mean, this was I think 2019. I was just toying around with like a twin stick just for fun. I was just like, I'll make a twin stick shooter. But I was also playing Mario Odyssey, and I was like, how do I mix these ideas? And that, like, mechanically, that became the core of Hauntii. I'm still not sure if that was a good idea, but that's what it is. Like, it just kind of became that. Yeah, there's a few differences, but like,
it is.
I didn't realize how hard it would be to like do that mechanic. That was a difficult mechanic to implement.
It was. It definitely is. And then when you did it in Hauntii, it felt so like smoothly, like you get to possess them easily. It's like, oh, okay, it's like I'm playing another Mario Odyssey game.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that because I wanted more Mario Odyssey, and there was what was that game that Donkey kept bashing on with like the giant farmer and the singing? Balan Wonderland.
Oh, Balan Wonderland,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was like all there was. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'll make Hauntii, and then we'll have more Mario Odyssey like content. Yeah, but when people, because I used to like compare Hauntii to Mario Odyssey as a try and explain the mechanics, and people like this was before it came out, and people saw the screenshots and trailer, and they're like, "What are you talking about? This is nothing," because it's like the style's totally different. And I'm like, no, just trust me. Like when you play it, you'll see. So validation.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
good find,
Anthony nailed it.
Yeah, good find.
I actually have a question for Anthony now that you said
Oh,
that.
you have a question for
Yeah.
me?
What
This
is
not
your
an
favorite?
interview.
Do you have a favorite thing you possessed in the game so far? I have a favorite, so I wonder if you do.
I don't think I have a favorite yet. I still need to continue exploring more.
Oh,
I can't make that judgment yet.
have you possessed the ladybug yet?
The ladybug, yes.
That was my favorite by far.
Ladybug is nice.
I was like, because you can go so far on her. You're just like with the little leaf. I was like, this is dope.
Yeah. The ladybug. When I was designing it, I was just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like this is a fun little side thing, and then it became like one of the biggest things that people attached to the game. I was like, wow, really?
Because you could go really far with the ladybug. Honestly, I was going like almost whole levels with her, just plotting it out. I was like,
my favorite thing with her is if you like land on the ground, she's like,
yeah, she
like struggling on the ground.
Then you feel bad for her. Then she takes off as stars. You're like, oh, she's resetting. She's fine.
That was originally not a mechanic. Like, so originally, like when a few months ago, or I guess like a year ago, whatever, when I was developing the ladybug, she would just be on the ground for a few seconds and then poof. And I posted that on Twitter, and people were like, "No, what happened to me?
You killed the ladybug."
I have to add the thing now that shows. Okay,
that's
so that became a mechanic.
There's a big Reddit fight over ladybug saving. You gotta make sure the ladybug stays alive. I got an actual question from you, just to kind of piggyback off of are those guys the ones that jump up in the air and smash down? Are those bananas? What are those?
Oh, they're mushrooms.
Oh, they are okay.
They kind of look like bananas because they're
like a pilled banana
and tall.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter to me if you think of them as bananas or mushrooms.
Well, I'll do mushrooms now, but for some reason I was like, "Are these giant banana dudes?" Like,
it's whatever you want.
Yeah,
you decide.
Bananas.
They're pretty abstract. So.
I mean, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they. There was. I forget like what the original concept was for them, but I don't know where this came from, but there is this, like, everybody who plays games or has played a game at any point, when they see a cork, they know that they have to pound it down. So, like, it had to be a cork. The thing that you, like, smashed down had to be a cork.
I like that. That was one of my favorite parts of the first boss fight.
Cool.
It was like a mechanic you had to do, so it was a puzzle, but it was also not a puzzle where I had to be like, what am I doing? Like, why? So
yeah,
it was still a struggle because you had to clean them off, and stuff. You had to smash them down, and still outrun everything, but in the same sense too, it was one of those ones you really got it. I actually got to a point where I remember at the beginning of the game it said you had to have the purple flame or whatever it was to have more energy to do things when you're possessing them, and I had forgot all about it, and I didn't have any at one point, and I kept going, why is it not smashing? Like I was so angry. I was like, wait a minute, I'm all out of purple stuff, so I had to run around and get purple stuff. I was like, shit.
That was a controversial mechanic because some people found it frustrating that you needed a resource to do it, but it also was kind of like a balancing factor. So I was like, I don't know. Actually considering doing a story mode so that because there are people who are interested in the story, like my girlfriend is playing through Hauntii and has been for like 2 months or more.
Wow.
And she's just like real, because it's basically her first game, so everything is new. And I'm just like, oh, man, like there are parts where people who don't typically play games will find very frustrating. So
yeah,
a story mode would be nice where like you just don't take damage or use resources. But yeah, future plan.
Nice. DLC coming?
Sorry?
Is DLC coming anytime?
Just released.
I wouldn't
Yeah, but like,
say.
I know that, but like, the future.
I don't just mess with you. It just came out.
We do have. Actually, I guess this is a good place to announce.
Oh,
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 you don't
wow.
have a drum roll or anything.
I gotta open my eyes up.
So it's not necessarily DLC. There is a big update to the map on the way. Because right now in the map, when you open your map, it just shows you kind of like the world map.
Yeah.
The update to the map will actually show you the stage that you're in, and it has like a fog of war effect. So as you explore, it shows you where you've explored, and I think that should help out people a lot, especially if you're like backtracking and looking for more stars.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's pretty dope.
Also, there may or may not be a little celebration that the ghosts of the forest have for Halloween. There may or may not be something
Was it
Halloween time.
an event?
An event, yeah. But it's not,
Wow.
it won't be like a DLC that you have to purchase. It just will be a game update, and then you can go and check it out.
Aw, that's dope.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah. So,
That is cool.
And just keep your expectations managed. Like it won't be like this huge thing. It's a couple little things.
I better see something. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You could always just come out with a pumpkin hat. I got the mushroom hat and the tree hat. Just come out the pumpkin hat.
The hats are fun.
Yeah.
Was that from Mario Odyssey as well?
The hats. Well, yeah. I mean, the Mario Odyssey did the like cosmetic outfit things. Actually, the original Hauntii game design doc allowed you to have a hat and a pet, and the pet would actually have a gameplay benefit.
Oh, really?
That had to be cut just because of like limited time that we had to develop it.
Oh, okay.
So it was really sad to cut the pets.
Yeah.
That was something I really wanted to have, but
it would have been nice.
It's like well, something's got to give.
I mean, that would be something you could add back maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be, but it's a lot of work. It's if enough people buy Hauntii, I can add it back.
Everyone go buy Hauntii now.
Everyone.
Please go buy Hauntii.
Take my money.
Yes, we need the pets in the game now. So how long did it take you to develop the game?
So I started in 2019, but it didn't take 5 years to make. It was more like I was just toying around with a couple concepts in 2019, and then I kind of stopped for a few years. I would say Hauntii was full-time for about 18 months. And then before that, it was kind of like because when I started Hauntii, I was working full-time at a different company, and I was doing just like a couple hours here and there on Hauntii. So it's kind of hard to estimate, but I would say that adds up to about 2 years of full-time.
Oof. Okay.
That's really good. I mean, considering like the quality of the game.
Yeah, the quality of game seems like it would be a lot longer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like,
oh, thank you.
No, yeah, because when you said 2 years, I was like,
wow.
what? I don't know about that, but I mean,
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing Hauntii somewhere else though. Were you on a Kickstarter?
Yeah, it was on a Kickstarter in 2022, May of 22.
Okay.
And I didn't plan that Kickstarter very well, so it didn't get funded. And after it didn't get funded, I was like, should I can this? Like, should I abandon this project?
No.
And Michael was like, no, man, like it's so cool. You have to keep going. So I was like, all right, let's find some other way to do this.
And clearly you did, because
yeah, obviously we made it, but it was sort of at first it was very disheartening because it was like, you know, we put a lot of effort into that trailer and we thought we had a cool idea. But it after the Kickstarter campaign, I hired some consultants and I was just like, what did we do wrong here? And it was all just marketing stuff that was done like not very well. So I was like, okay, like that's a known fault that I have is like, I'm sure any indie dev watching this kind of shares that. It's like a lot of us have a marketing blind spot. And so it's like, we're like, oh yeah, all the skill points into making games, and then marketing, oh, here's one skill point, and then your game
Oh my god.
our dev RPG, there we go.
Yeah, and then like nobody knows about your game, and you're just like, what? Why? What happened?
Oh, that's such a good
That's
comparison.
hilarious.
Oh my God.
I love
Yeah, you
that.
have to
Yeah.
market it.
Like the little pentagon thingy or the octagon thingy, like
Yeah, the skill thing. Yeah, I mean, there's this guy, Chris. I don't want to get his name wrong. Chris Zukowski, but he's basically like the indie game marketing guy. He's the guy for marketing indie games. And
Really?
yeah, his this isn't an ad, but he has like a how to market a game course.
Yeah.
And I'm in that course now, and I'm just watching through the lessons, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Son of a...
Yeah, exactly.
Darn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oops. Yeah.
yeah, but I guess
Okay.
coming to like podcast is also another way to, I guess, market your game because like people will be.
Yeah,
feel
for
like-
sure.
I don't know how many games I've seen that just I felt like had so much promise, but you never hear about them until it's too late.
Mm.
Like, dude, this game's so good, and they're like, "Well, we're shutting it down." You're like, "What? What happened? Like, why didn't you guys do any marketing on this?" Like,
That's true. That's why I always like to go to Itch.io and check out all the games there before because that's where you can see the earliest release of those games before they even hit the markets.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, there's like marketing can be very expensive, so I understand. Like, for example, like a AAA game. If you have a AAA game and your budget for development is like 100 million, it wouldn't be uncommon for marketing to also be like 80 to 120 million for that.
Yeah.
So like there are cases where if the studio or the stakeholders or whatever are like, oh, this game's not that good, they might just like cut the marketing and just like save it. It's a really sad situation, but I think that's sort of what's happening behind the scenes. When you see a game come out, you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Why didn't they tell anyone about it? It's just like that business side of it.
Yeah.
With indie games, it's different though. With indie games, it's just we don't know how to market.
Yeah.
We're just like, I spent all the time making the game. And I didn't tell anyone.
Plus, like you gotta think some indie teams probably don't have that much money to use for marketing.
For sure, yeah.
So
I mean,
that was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Like with Hauntii, the vast majority of our marketing was free because it was I'm blanking on the name now, but there's like a summer festival where they show indie games, and that gave us like a huge amount of exposure. And there's like the Completionist has a event that he was running for a while that we got invited to, so that also helped us out a lot. So we have a lot of people to thank as far as like just helping. We had basically no ability ourselves for the first 2 years or so, and there are like festivals that can help out a lot.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I heard like you have to kind of like build into like the steps into like when you're marketing your game. Like you can't just like make the game and then just start marketing there, because you have no idea like the audiences, and like you have to communicate with the potential buyers. So you kind of have to, like Leo says, like, go to this festival, showcase here, make Discord, communicate with the people who are interested, build the community more and more, and then like once you release the game, you already have some sort of like a fan base that are willing to kind of do the marketing for you too, because like they'll be telling their friends or people that they know, oh yeah, this game is pretty cool, check this out, and then kind of spread and
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's like the charm of PAX and a lot of those other ones too. Is being able to get your hands on it and play it.
Yeah, PAX. I kind of wish I could still go to PAX. I mean, I could technically, but it's just like it's a long flight.
Yeah,
so
but you should go to G-Star or Burning Beaver in Korea.
Oh, you'll have to send me the info for those, because the only one I knew of in Korea was the Busan Indie Connect.
Yeah, that we went to.
Which happened like right as I was moving, so it was yeah.
I was there, but I think Burning Beaver is happening in November, and G-Star is also happening in November. So
did you say Burning Beaver?
Yeah, you heard it. Burning Beaver, like as the beaver, the animal.
Yeah, that's the name of isn't it?
Why would you burn the beaver?
Sure. Just want to make sure you saying burning beavers.
Yeah.
Maybe the beaver is like
not even joking. It's called Burning Beaver.
Maybe it's going Super Saiyan.
I don't know how they came up with the name. Like I'm not into that.
I'll take down lots of trees.
Zach, go find a ballot.
No, I'll send you guys the link. I'm serious. There's Burning Beaver. This is where like they have.
We believe you. I just have never heard of it. Yeah. So like that was.
It's pretty big. It's happening in Seoul actually. So you should probably apply, Leo.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's right in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and also Minimap is also trying to do like a showcase of their own. Well, I'm trying to like gather some like indie devs to like showcase their games. So. Cool. That's happening in the future, not in the near future, but yeah. So
you know where to find me.
Yeah. First recruit that we first reach out
of an unknown project.
Of an unknown project. See, when you signed up to be on this podcast, you're doing a lot of stuff.
I have to sign a clause every time we go in here.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
we start talking about burning beavers. It's
yeah.
getting weird.
Yeah, this is a fun format. I mean, I've done I think like one podcast in the past, but most of them were like kind of most of the media stuff relating to games has just been like interviews. But I think the podcast is more fun because it's sort of informal.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to make it informal and casual because we kind of want to. We also have many questions about your game, but also we're kind of curious, like how you guys think about the gaming news that's happening, like nowadays too, like what the dev side perspective is, and
Yeah,
that.
I think it's a good opportunity for like I guess for fans of Hauntii to sort of get I guess my perspective on things because I'm a very introverted person. I don't like to address people and like even now I'm sweating. But
You
so
look
like
cool and calm.
Yeah, I know you're like the coolest one here.
that's just the look. That's just the appearance. But I'm a very introverted person, so like I won't go out of my way to do this kind of thing. But having other people kind of be like, "Hey, come and do this," it works out nicely.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
So yeah, is there any like last question we can ask because it's,
I still have 17 questions. I'm
oh
looking
my
at
God,
the sheet right
I
now.
had 21 questions written down right here, but like maybe we can ask him to come out again later.
George, I don't think you've asked a question yet, specifically in the game section.
Oh.
oh,
Okay. Do you have a game that you would like to collaborate with, or game dev, or a specific game with Hauntii?
Not with Hauntii specifically. There are a ton of sort of other game devs that I really admire. There are people. So my strengths as a dev are more in the like art and visual storytelling side. I can do game design, but I feel like there are people who really excel at that. So like if I see someone who's like really just masterfully balance and design a game, I kind of feel I want to collaborate with you and just like do the art, like make it nice looking. Lately, I've been really into a game called Slay the Spire, which is like a card game.
I love Slay the Spire.
Yeah, it's.
I love that game.
When I say card, it doesn't feel like a card game because typically I'm not really interested in like Magic or Hearthstone or whatever. But the way Slay the Spire does it is just like so addicting, and they explain like if you hover a card, like it tells you everything you need to know, like all the terms, and it's very clear. And somebody with not much patience, like myself, can just jump into it and be like, "Oh, okay, that's what that does," and it's balanced extremely well. So I don't know. It would be fun to work with somebody like that on a game. I know there's some IP that I remember seeing and being like, "Oh, I'd love to work on that," but I can't remember it right now. So that's the answer.
Yeah, you can send us an email or Discord. We'll introduce it next time.
Sure.
So there's actually a lot of games that are card games like that, like Slay the Spire, and one that I actually talked about on the podcast earlier. That kind of reminds me of your art. It's like literally a game just kind of like Slay the Spire, except for your job is to keep people from getting out of hell. It's literally you're a tower, and you can build up the tower by using your cards and stuff like that, and it keeps people from leaving because it's got all these different abilities, right? And the artwork for that game is not the exact same as yours, but it reminds me a lot of your game's artwork. Like it's pretty. It's called Heretic's Fork.
Heretic's Fork.
Yeah, I played that game for I think it's 74 hours now.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm constantly trying to beat. I have 2 achievements left to get like 100% achievements, and it's driving me nuts. But
Achievement hunter here.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, completionist.
I'm like, I gotta get it, but it's a really addictive game. It's easy. It's a lot like Core Keeper if you really enjoy Core Keeper. So just if you want to check it out,
I
when you got time.
actually
I know you're
haven't
busy.
played Core Keeper either. I need to.
Oh, not Core Keeper. I'm sorry, Slay the Spire. I was
Slay the
I was daydreaming about Core Keeper. My bad. I'm sorry.
It's just
Yeah, that's good. So, anything you want to add before we go, Leo, or to the listeners or people that are interested in playing?
Well, anyone listening, if you're curious about Hauntii, check out our Steam page.
I'll just,
I think it's a really cool game. Personally, not just bragging. Like I've worked on many games, but this one, it's a really cool game, and everybody that worked on it really put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, check it out. Otherwise,
It's a beautiful game.
that's it from me. I am working on something new, but it's too early to talk about it. So when that's ready,
we're definitely inviting you. Sending the invite link again.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Can I ask one more question? Because I know we're about to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to ask you one more question because I just am curious. What was how did you guys come up with the Ascended's voice thing? You know, where it does the weird symbols and then that plays like the pictures and stuff. Like I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah. So the angel character is an Eternian.
Eternian, that's right.
Yeah, they basically don't have a start and end. They're just a constant in time. So I thought like it wouldn't make sense for them to really use the same language that the ghosts use. And I just wanted them to have their own language that is kind of perplexing to ghosts. Although it is a cipher, and some players have figured out the cipher.
Like, it is a cipher? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It only took like 2 weeks. Someone on our Discord was like, I got you. Like, I figured it out. I was like, what? Already?
Wow.
Was he just writing down every symbol and then just matching it up? Or
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I saw the notes. It's pretty insane. Like, the amount of effort that it took to decipher it.
That's actually super cool.
Zach, it's your turn now. You have to figure it out too. On
Listen,
behalf of our team.
Because the minute it comes on, it plays like it goes right, and then it shows the letters. But I thought it was kind of cool because you could tell that the ghost doesn't understand what she's saying, and then all of a sudden she her eyes get big, and she plays like a movie, kind of like showing the pictures of what she's trying to tell them. And I was like, that's super cool. And so to me, I was like, I wonder how they came up with this. Now that I know somebody's so smart, they figured it out. Yeah. It makes me a little
Zach is going to figure it out for us. I believe in you.
So when we were developing it, I was like, nobody's going to figure out this cipher because there are like weird rules to it where if some letter's next to another, they'll swap places and like some of them stack. And I was like, yeah, nobody's going to figure this out. And our sound designer, Ben, was like, nah, they're going to figure it out. It's only going to be like 2 weeks because he's also really into ciphering and like there was another. What's the Fox game? Like the Fox Zelda?
Star Fox?
The Fox Zelda. It's like isometric. I think they also had a cipher thing, and he was like, "Yeah, people."
Was it Tunic?
Tunic.
Yeah, Tunic. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, Tunic.
He was like, "Yeah, people figured that out in like a week." So.
He was like, it wasn't that big a deal.
He was like, I bet you within the first 2 weeks somebody figures it out. And then it was almost like 2 weeks to the day. and when he saw on the Discord that somebody he was like, I knew it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just that was something one of my questions
Cool.
I wanted to get out. And then, are you gonna release any merch for this, like some Hawaiian T-shirts with these characters?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Thank you.
Because
There's a
I'll
Hauntii-
definitely get one from you.
There's a Hauntii Plush.
Oh,
Oh, what?
There's
Shut
a
up.
Hauntii Plush right now. I'll send you a link, but basically it's a limited. There's only like 18 more days to get it.
Where's this link, eh?
I'll send it. I'll
yeah,
share the link.
send it to me. I'll add it to the
18 more
description.
days.
It-
Is
so-
that a makeshift?
Makeshift, yeah, it's a makeshift campaign. So
That's why.
they do like really limited runs. So this may be your only chance to get a Hauntii Plush
Uh-oh.
if you're interested
Um,
in it.
Take
Take
note.
my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll add it to the link. I'll add the link
Okay.
to the description.
Cool.
No worries.
Otherwise, I would love to do a shirt like this. If you can see my little cat guy here.
I thought that was like a ghost or something because it's so far away.
No, this is. I mean, I just found this at a store, but when I saw it, I was like, if there was a little Hauntii or
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
That would be
crisp
super cute.
angel, like, I think we could. I think people might enjoy those. I would wear it. So
I'm buying that.
Imagine if you put like one of those beautiful like sceneries over a whole shirt.
Yeah, or on the back or something.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
have enough ink for that, but it'd be pretty cool.
that would be cool too. I would want to put Sporio on the shirt because it's like such a charming dumb character.
Yeah, that's the one with the bite out of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like, "I saw you fall."
Yeah.
Also,
I
like the guy with I like the ghost with the big mustache and the pipe. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's just like, I'm like that mustache is dope.
His facial hair is based on Alan Watts, who's like a British philosopher and author.
Oh, nice.
Because Alan Watts is one of the his philosophy is some portion of what inspired the game. And so I was like, okay, I gotta have a character that looks like Alan Watts.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked him. I'm sorry, I could talk to you forever, so maybe we should just
Oh yeah.
turn my mic off. I'm turning.
Yeah, but we can actually invite him again next time too.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
We have lots
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun because you're probably like this. We have talked to you with you, like enjoyed talking to you so much. Like we can just go.
The
on.
time just flew
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we can invite you again. I'll probably keep asking you, like, oh, when do you want to
I
come?
already
back?
found the plushie as well. So did Anthony.
Yeah, but yeah,
We both
I'll
found
make sure
plushies.
I'll add the link to the description and so that people can check it out. And if you haven't played Hauntii yet, you can buy it on Steam or get it on all the platforms, right?
It
Yes.
sounds like
All
everything.
platforms. Yeah.
I thought I saw
And
Xbox 3 on there or something.
Xbox, not 360, but all the other Xboxes.
Okay, like Xbox. Okay. Not
And
all of
PlayStation,
them, like-
PlayStation 2. I'm like, whoa.
No.
It plays really well on the Steam Deck. If you have a Steam Deck,
Oh,
I bet it does.
we tested extensively on the Steam Deck. So
nice. So
There you go.
That's actually very nice.
yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Enjoy talking to you guys. We'll be back next week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
you for coming
Thank you.
Thanks
You're awesome.
everyone.
Thanks for the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
I gotta get this plushie.